Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us. In this tutorial we will share with you our modeling inside Blender and texturing lighting inside Unreal Engine for the boy room side or NG project. So without any further ado, let's get started. So inside Blender, we will start by adding a single vertex and extrude this to create our base for the wall. And the basic idea here is to create a simple geometry for our object and avoid any overlap face to be able to create also an interactive experience later on in our series for the full house. So hope you guys will enjoy our time lapse for the modeling part inside Blender. We'll come back when we export our project to Unreal Engine. So once our modeling is finished with the rest of the object, we will export our project using datasmith. Now inside Unreal Engine, inside our space, we will import our datasmith file and create a folder for the incoming project. Now we will disable the materials and the textures because we wanna create our materials from scratch inside Unreal Engine. Now after importing our textures, we'll start by adding a material to our blanket here, which we already unwrapped it inside Blend. So a simple material and create a texture sample, and we can add a scalar parameter for the metal, the specular, and the roughness. Now it's time to add a simple normal map with a texture diffuse, add more realistic to our material. So we downloaded a cloth textures from Megascan, and we're gonna mix our diffuse channel with the diffuse texture. And adding a multiplier node with a lerp node, connecting this to the base. Now for the normal textures, we will add flatten normal with a scalar parameter to control the normal map. Now as you can see here, we need to add a texture coordinate for the cloth texture that we have downloaded here. This seems okay. Now it's time to create a copy from that material and add a color cloth textures to create the other part of the game. Now for the chair, we want to create a material that can be used with other objects inside our scene. So we'll start by duplicating our bed blanket material. I'll call this a fabric. Now inside the fabric material, we're going to create a node called texture select. And what this is going to do is going to help us choose how much level of the texture mix and which one we want to apply to our object. And also we want to duplicate our normal because we want to mix also the fabric material with another normal that we have imported earlier with our textures. The difference is this one have a more dense fabric normal. It can give us a nicer. Another thing is that we want to control our texture coordinates inside our material instance instead of opening the material. So we're gonna add an append node and create two scalar parameters for the V and the U. So we can connect them using a multiplier with the texture coordinates. Let's apply and let's make an instance of that material and let's apply it to our chair. Now, because we have added a texture select node, now we can control which one we want to show. So we will add 1 to the texture select value. Let's now play with the normal and the diffuse channel coordinates so we can also randomize our texture coordinates for the texture. And we want to also use this texture instance with these three pillows, but we want to be able to change our texture over here. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna change our texture node to a texture 2D parameter that can be replaced inside our instance material. So let's first create these nodes parameters for the diffuse channels. Now, the main idea is that we want to assign our textures to the diffuse channels. Now, if we drag our texture to the nodes, we can see that it not be applied. And to fix that, we can easily just open the textures and enable virtual texture stream. Important note, and it's really important to know that our textures should be a power of 2, so they can be applied easily to the material. Power of 2 means, as you know, 512 by 2 will give you 124. When we change the material, we can assign it easily. The same thing we're gonna do after duplicating the material instance, enable the virtual texture. These techniques help us quickly change our material without creating the material or open it. So let's create another material instance and apply it to the 3 bears. These are actually my son's favorite cartoon characters. So I thought maybe it's gonna be nice to model inside this room to simulate more kids' characters these days. And the same thing goes with changing the texture, enabling the virtual texturing, sampling for these textures, and duplicating the material instance we created. So once we have finished our materials, the final look for ours look like that. Now for the lighting that we have used here inside our room, we basically used our favorite Blueprint lighting studio that we have explained before in our HDRI lighting. If you have missed this video, you can find the link in the description. Now we're gonna also disable the direction light. The interesting thing here is that this is all being done inside Unreal Engine 5.2, so the emissive material that we have created for the ceiling is actually pretty impressive in terms of how it can light the scene by just powering the scale parameter to a higher value. And this is very useful if you want to simulate a night scene using the internal lights of the room. Now also, during day with a small indoor light inside the room. The Blueprint Light Studio is lighting our room using an HDRI, as we did before also. And by enabling the direction light, we can have sunlight going inside, with adjusting also the shadows to be much more smoother by increasing the source angle. So 0 mean more sharp, and higher values give us more. So hope you guys enjoyed this tutorials, and hope you guys enjoy our tutorial. And if you have any questions, please share it down in the comments. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. Thank you.